Yep, here we are.
All right.
Let me turn down my phone volume so I don't hear the echo.
Right. All right. How's everyone doing? You guys doing all right?
Yeah, how is everybody doing?
All right. Sorry about that, guys. That was kind of weird.
Yes. Yes, but we are here now. If you do not hear me on TikTok, I muted so we don't have anything echoing.
Yep.
But
All right. Let me fix something on the YouTube real quick and then we will get started. All right. Ryan, welcome us to the podcast as you
yeah,
always
so
do.
welcome to another episode of Rasslin. We're on a mic. We excuse the technical difficulties. We're going through a test run here, trying some new things out. So thank you for bearing with us. But yeah, we're here with again with another episode.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. WWE weekly chat. That's just what I'm putting on the YouTube. Weekly recap. All right, here we go. All right, how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well today. I just wanted to test this out because pretty soon here on Lace 'em Up Sports, we're going to be going live after Laker games. They're going to be going live after Rams games, and so yeah, I think this is the perfect opportunity to test out all the platforms here and see how it can go. And so, Ryan, how's your day going?
Yeah, it's going good. Just trying out the new the new format. Going live on here more because I actually have never gone live on TikTok. So this is my first official live per se.
Right.
But also we have some news. We have created a new Instagram for specifically Rasslin, Ron, and Mike. So be sure to go follow us on Instagram, and that's where all things Rasslin, Ron, and Mike will be posted from now on.
Yes, sir. All right. I think we are. Let's go back onto the Zoom here so I can see here, mute this a little bit. But hope everyone's doing well today. Um, Today I wanted to talk all things WWE Raw and SmackDown Raw from a couple. No, it was last night. I mean, what I mean a couple nights ago. Last night it was
A
another
couple
Monday
nights
night.
ago, yeah.
Yeah,
It's Wednesday, so Monday night.
right. Exactly. Exactly. What did you think of Raw this past Monday?
I thought it was better than it has been the last couple of weeks. Especially that Rey Mysterio Chad Gable match, man. That was a great match. It's crazy to see Rey Mysterio at 51 years old still being able to perform at that level.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's like the.
Uh-oh, I hear an echo.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out while we're recording right here. I'm trying to figure out where the echo is coming from. Is it echoing on my part?
Okay, now it's gone.
Yeah, it's kind of coming in and out a little bit, trying to figure out where it's coming from. But Rey Mysterio, he's the ageless wonder, man. And it's obvious that he's slowed down a bit. Sometimes you look at Rey Mysterio in the ring and it seems like, wow, yeah, like the injuries and the age is caught up. But then sometimes Rey Mysterio's in the ring like last night and he's flying around like he did 20 years ago.
Yeah, and he even brought back, the old attire, the old baggy pants.
Right,
He looked like the Rey Mysterio of old, like the Rey Mysterio that won the World Heavyweight title for the first time.
right. Yeah, yeah. And so that was, it's important to see Rey Mysterio out there competing because he doesn't compete that much anymore, to be honest. And that's probably why he's out there looking the way he does because he doesn't wrestle every week like he used to.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely helping him out. I think it definitely helps out with his longevity and also with him being the general manager of AAA. I'm sure they don't want him to get injured,
Right,
specifically like I know as a GM, but like, oh, you could still work injured, but I'm sure they still want him to like be physical and involved in AAA as well.
right. Yep, exactly. And so you want Rey Mysterio out in in pieces. And nowadays you don't want to obviously put him out there weekly wrestling because you're just one, you're going to burn him out. He's also 50 some years old in age. He's very injury prone. So having Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio here and there on Raw, but focusing more on the AAA part is a good idea.
Yeah, no, and he's been, Rey Mysterio is like you said, he's the ageless wonder. And the times he does wrestle, he really makes the most out of it. I remember he had a great match with Penta like a month ago. So yeah, it's great. Like when he does wrestle, he makes the most of it, and then when he doesn't wrestle, it's like, oh, everybody still loves him. The crowd got hot when he hit the 619. So it goes to show you how loved Rey Mysterio is.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, so Rey Mysterio, he had a great match last night, but also more importantly, Monday Night Raw, the whole entire storyline from Monday Night Raw a couple nights ago was the bloodline and what Solo Sokoa, how he was going to be implemented into this new, well, not really new, into this version of the bloodline.
Yeah, they had him come out, and then LA Knight eventually came out later. But it's a whole thing of like Roman is just saying like, "Oh, you should be at my by my side right now." He's like, "I don't know why you're even standing here in front of me right now."
Right. Yeah.
Um, just saying most of the same stuff he did, and then Jacob hit him, and then he's just like, "Oh, here, you gotta lay there for a second. I have more business to attend to." Um, and then LA Knight eventually came out,
Yeah.
and it looked like Solo was gonna rejoin the bloodline. He was gonna go spike LA Knight, and then he ended up spiking Roman to a huge loud pop from the crowd. LA Knight hit a BFT, and Jacob was just standing there because Roman says stop. Roman told him not to touch him.
Right. Yeah. So
But
that's
you
going to
could
play
see
into
the
it.
look on, but you saw the look on Jacob's face like he wanted to do something.
Right.
And then another interesting thing is Roman gave Jimmy and Jay their own Ulafalas. He gave them black ones.
Galapagos.
Yeah, but Jacob, you see, he looked like mad that they got Ulafaka. I know he got one too when he first acknowledged Roman. He got one too,
Right.
but he looked upset that they got it because, like he said, he's like, I only take orders from the tribal chief. I don't listen to you two.
Right.
And so I think he got a little upset because maybe it's like, oh well, now he has to listen to him.
Right.
Um, and
Yeah.
it'll be curious to see where this goes, but it definitely looks like we're gonna get probably LA Knight and Solo versus the Usos at Sunday night's main event.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so big things happening in the world of WWE. Obviously, we're talking Raw from a couple nights ago, SmackDown from several nights ago. So I think the product has improved a lot since the start of the build to SummerSlam, and even up to now, because we're seeing pretty much a shift in the direction of WWE. I think what's happening right now in WWE is really exciting. Not only do you have the Kevin Owens, CM Punk stuff, on SmackDown, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. But then on Raw, you have the Bloodline stuff, which the Bloodline, it's been overdone. Nobody, I mean, everybody is in agreement of how overdone the Bloodline is. But last night, they added some new twists to it. Not last night. I keep wanting to say last night, a couple nights ago. They've added some new twists to it with Solo Sakoa. And I think with Solo Sakoa, I mean, this guy is a breakout superstar, in the wings here. I think, and now don't rake me over the coals here, is that I think he has a lot of charisma, almost like The Rock.
That's what people were saying. I've been seeing people been talking about that. And then another thing too is Roman is now listed internally as a heel.
Right.
So I'm guessing, I'm assuming Roman turned heel at some point in that segment.
Yeah. Because they had been tweeners. The Usos, Roman Reigns, the entire bloodline, they had been baby faces, heels. Nobody knew what exactly they were, but 2 nights ago, there was no question that they were heels.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're back to being heels, and also Roman kind of disrespected the crowd,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. Um, so yeah, so it'll be interesting. Although I do think, because I know you've said it too, the bloodline does work better when they are heels. The Usos work better as healers. Roman works better as a healer.
Yep.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where like the direction is now, especially because you have Zilla Fatu on NXT. It's only a matter of time before he factors into the faction.
Right.
Is he gonna join with Roman and the Usos, or is he gonna join up with Solo?
Right. Yeah, and that's a big thing, going forward. They could build many, many months going forward with the storyline because not only do you have now Solo Sakoa, who is a full-fledged babyface, you have LA Knight, who still is owed a title shot. Then you're gonna get into Jacob Fatu not helping out Roman Reigns, although it was Roman Reigns' request for him not to touch LA Knight. There's so many options here to go.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, is Jacob eventually gonna turn? Is he gonna go back with Solo?
Right,
Is he gonna, be with LA Knight as well?
right.
So that's like the bit of like a twist that's different with the whole bloodline story. But other than that, it's still the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I just saw somewhere, I saw a comment of like looking over the past 5 years from when Roman started as the tribal chief to now. They're like, there's been zero character development with Roman.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we talk about the last 6 years, 5 years. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right in the sense that there's been zero character development. Roman Reigns in character is still the same guy. He is still the same. Um, wow, that was a big echo. Where's this echo
Yeah.
coming from? We're trying to figure this out right here, and I apologize for everyone that's listening because we're kind of working out the kinks here. Um, let's see here. But what I was saying was Roman Reigns is still the same character he was 5 years ago when he was the undisputed WWE champion. Flash forward, years later now, he's the world heavyweight champion on Raw. It's literally the same thing. You have the Usos, who are his henchmen. You have now Jacob Fatu, that's in the bloodline. He's essentially replaced Solo Sakoa. All that's missing is a wise man and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and the yeah, no, it's just really crazy that there's been like zero development and it's literally we're watching the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know how they can develop Roman Reigns even more. I feel like they're trying to just squeeze the sponge of Roman Reigns as much as they can get out of it right now until he goes away. And I think, look at he's not going to be on the weekly television from now till WrestleMania. He's going to go away at some point. So, do they take the title off him? Do they pull the trigger and go with LA Knight? Do they pull the trigger and go with a Solo Sokoa?
Or possibly a Jacob Fatu if he turns.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly.
And another thing I want to note is Roman Reigns still has not apologized to the Usos for his
He
actions
hasn't.
from all those years ago. And remember, the Usos were saying they want apologies. Sami Zayn was saying that he wants an apology. Roman still hasn't done that.
Now, if you remember this was some point last year when Jey Uso was main event Jey Uso and he was world heavyweight champion. There was a segment on Raw, and I remember this vividly. Roman Reigns came back, and it was Jey Uso, and they were starting to kind of get back on the same page here. Jey Uso vividly told Roman Reigns, in order for this to work, we have to be equals. You can't, there's none of this like you're like we acknowledge you and we're gonna be interfering in your matches on your behalf to save you kind of stuff. No, they have to be equals. That was vividly said by Jey Uso. What happened? What happened?
Yeah. It's like they went completely backwards and it's just like the same thing over
I don't know.
again. And another thing that makes me curious is like if they're gonna add anybody else, we know Zilla at some point is gonna get involved, but
Right.
depends on it what like where is he gonna align, and then I'm not saying it's gonna happen anytime soon, but like you still have Naomi, who when we last saw her, she was a heel and she is technically part of the bloodline. Is she gonna get thrown in there at some
Right.
point down the
Good.
road? I'm not saying she will, but I was like, you can't rule it out.
You can't. I think that'd be fascinating. Although Naomi, I mean, we don't know when she'll ever be back. I think that's an important piece in somebody's life when a woman gives birth, and I mean, look, she can want to be in her child's life for the first couple of years. She could want to come back right away. Who knows? We don't know that family dynamic, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, man, this echoes. Where's this coming from? Because it stops and it goes.
Yeah. Again, thank you guys for bearing with us. We're still working out the kinks, and this is all
Do you
new
have
for
any?
us.
What do you have
So
open right now?
I don't. All I have is TikTok on my phone, but my volume is all the way down on my phone, and then I just have Zoom open. That's it.
Hmm. Okay.
Hello, Seth. Thank you for joining the TikTok.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see who's on the top
Yeah,
tier.
we have Seth Whitlock on.
Seth Rollins?
Seth Whitlock. If
Okay.
only. If only. No, if that was the case, I'd probably be leaving
Yeah.
um and stuff. So there's the echo again.
Oh wait. Hey, okay. Want to say hi to everybody that's on the TikTok as well. What up, everybody? We're talking all things WWE. The recap from Raw and SmackDown. All right. So that happened on Raw. Let's talk about CM Punk and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, man, their promo got real. Like, I don't think this was Kevin Owens talking to CM Punk. I think this was Kevin Steen talking to Phil Brooks.
It was.
It felt very real. Kevin Owens mentioned not directly, but he implied about when Punk told him to stop wrestling in a t-shirt,
Right.
because he's a big guy. Um, but it was very heated. The crowd was very much into it, and it was also like, which is a rare sight to see nowadays with CM Punk. It was like a 50-50 crowd because it's usually almost always everybody's rooting for CM Punk, no matter who it is. But
Yeah.
this one, it really felt like there was a good chunk of the crowd cheering for Kevin Owens.
Oh, absolutely. Um, Look, with that, you had Kevin Owens and CM Punk that have not like a full rich history against each other, but these two guys, you could tell that there's something about each other they don't like. And it stems back from Ring of Honor with the whole t-shirt story. I'm sure everyone's fully aware of that, of when Kevin Owens started in Ring of Honor. He went to Gabe Sapolsky, and they talked about him wearing a t-shirt. And that's what Kevin Owens, that's who he is. He wears a t-shirt, basketball shorts. That's what he's comfortable wrestling in. He's not a tights guy. He's not a trunks guy. He's t-shirt, basketball shorts, boots. But CM Punk obviously didn't like that. And so CM Punk made it, or they made it known that they wanted Kevin Owens to not wear a t-shirt. And he didn't. He didn't wear a t-shirt for the match that they had, whatever it was. They came back. Kevin Owens told CM Punk.
I think it's possible it's coming from your end.
Let's see here.
It might be TikTok Studio. And now I can't hear you.
Okay, I just muted myself on Zoom. I think it's coming from Zoom, but let's see here. Anyways, Kevin Owens went up to CM Punk. He basically told him in jest, "Are you happy?" Because he didn't wear the t-shirt. And CM Punk went off and on him in the locker room, berating him in front of everybody. Kevin Owens never forgot about that. He embarrassed him, and many years later, he's harvest that those feelings. And obviously, Kevin Owens, he has friends that do not like CM Punk. Talking about Colt Cabana, talk about the Young Bucks, for all that is you know that has been well documented from the podcast that WWE sued Colt Cabana and CM Punk, all the way to Brawl Out in AEW. The Punks, Colt Cabana, they do not like CM Punk, and they're all friends with Kevin Owens. So there's many reasons why Kevin Owens does not like CM Punk, and there's probably many reasons why CM Punk does not like Kevin Owens.
Yeah, and of course, I like the aspect of like realism and reality when it's brought into a feud because it adds a lot of buzz and hype to it and like legitimacy. Like for example, when we saw Punk and Seth, it got like very real at one point because we know they don't like each other. Seth and we saw with Punk and Drew, we know they don't really like each other. Um, so yeah, I like this sense of realism between Punk and Kevin Owens, and it's like I said, I don't think it was Kevin Owens the character talking to CM Punk the character. I think it was Kevin Steen the person talking to Phil Brooks the person.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so those
And
guys are going to have a match coming up in Toronto, Canada in a couple
on
weeks.
on SmackDown actually, this coming SmackDown.
But yeah, well, actually, yeah, this upcoming
Yeah,
SmackDown.
this coming SmackDown, it'll
Let's
be
talk about
Kevin
that
Owens
match.
versus CM Punk. Um, I definitely think something's gonna happen with Sammy. I think Sammy's gonna screw KO out of jealousy, and he's gonna get mad
Yeah.
that he essentially stole his spot.
Right.
So I don't see this ending cleanly at all. I could see this also leading to a triple threat at Money in the Bank or possibly Sunday night's main event.
Mm-hmm.
But also no doubt that it's going to be a great match, because Punk and Kevin are two great wrestlers. It's going to be Kevin's first singles match in over a year. It's going to be Punk's first singles match on SmackDown in like what, like 13 years?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because before CM Punk went over to SmackDown, he was pretty much a Raw superstar going back to when he left WWE in 2014.
Yeah, it was like it was when he was World Heavyweight Champion is when he was a SmackDown guy
Right.
with his feud with Rey Mysterio and like Jeff Hardy. But pretty much other than that, it's like you said, Punk has primarily been a Raw guy. Um, but also the fact that it's in Canada, we know the crowd's going to be great. So I'm hoping for a great match and a great show. But yeah, that's why I think there's gonna be some sort of involvement by Sami Zayn. Whether in his mind he'll probably try to help KO by screwing Punk, but inevitably I think he's gonna end up screwing KO even if it's inadvertently.
Right.
But yeah, I don't see this ending cleanly. Punk is still gonna walk out as WWE champion, and like I said, I think this leads to a triple threat either at Sunday night's main event or Money in the Bank.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, because I think Sami Zayn, he didn't get his match last week. You know, when Nick Aldis told him we're going to sweeten the pot. If you beat Cody Rhodes, you're going to become the number one contender. And also, look at SummerSlam, it was supposed to be one on one between Sami Zayn and Finn Balor. That didn't happen because Gunther and Kevin Owens were added to the match. So this all adds to Sami Zayn feeling like he's been screwed and screwed left and right. And so, yeah, I can. It's almost 100% that Sami Zayn is going to interfere in this match.
Yeah. Um, and also it'll be curious to see because how if Finn Balor's gonna play a role in this too because he's probably upset
Right.
because he was promised a one-on-one match. So it'll
Yeah,
be curious to see if he gets involved at all in any capacity.
exactly. All right. So I did write here down on the TikTok uh, live chat here, and I can also write it down on the YouTube live chat for everybody that's watching on TikTok. For everybody that's watching live on YouTube, who is your WWE Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, give us your top four, or you can even give us your top five if you want to. We want to hear your guys' thoughts. You already know who. I think I've shared mine. I think you've shared yours. Have you shared yours?
I have not, but you
So
can go
what?
ahead and
Well,
share yours.
no, well, like there's only one right answer to this. It's
Oh, really?
John Cena, John Cena, John Cena, John Cena.
Oh,
No,
wow.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I hope you at least understood my reference there, though.
I know, I did. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Did
No.
Cena say that during the promo?
Yeah, he said that during a promo. He says there's only one correct answer for the Mount Rushmore, and it's John Cena, John Cena, John Cena, John Cena.
Right.
Um, but no, also it's really hard when you talk about Mount Rushmore because there's so many. It's like, are you talking all time? Or are you talking about on the mic? You talking about in the ring? You know, there's so much to consider when doing this.
Right.
And again, it's also a matter of opinion. There's no right or wrong answer. We may disagree, but it's like, hey, it's our opinion. And also, I feel like we make valid cases for why we have who we have on it.
Exactly.
So I know for me, my Mount Rushmore is it's John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ric Flair, and it's a toss up because I've had The Rock on there, I've had The Undertaker on there, I've had Bret Hart there at one point. So my fourth one is kind of like a toss up. But if you ask me, I would probably have to say um I'd probably have to say The Rock simply because of what he did for the business. I know that probably shocks you because I don't like him, but I can't deny what he did for the company and his star power. I can't
Yes,
deny that.
exactly. You're
I can't take
100%
that
right.
away from him.
1000% right. Fine. 1000% right. Actually, you know what? It's The Rock, The Rock, The Rock, The Rock, The Rock. Not joking. Actually, no, it's Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Rocky Maivia,
Hollywood Rocker.
Hollywood, yeah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Rock the Dwayne Johnson. I'm joking.
No, the proper answer is Danhausen, 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 Danhausen.
Exactly.
No, just kidding. No, but that's mine. I feel like I said, the fourth one really changes a lot, but I definitely think like Cena and Stone Cold are like definitive.
Right.
And the reason I put Ric Flair just because Ric Flair literally could do it all. He
He
was
did.
great in the ring. He was great on the mic.
Right.
He connected with the fans. A great heel, great baby face. So that's why I include Ric Flair because that dude he could do it all.
Absolutely. Like there's so many people you could put in there, and so many people you can mix in and out, and nobody has the right answer, right? Mount Rushmores are meant to debate, they're meant to be subjective, they're meant to be inconsistent because everybody has their favorites. For me, it's and also too, when you talk about WWE isn't all of pro wrestling. You have, dozens of promotions out there from the past. Currently, you have AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, all that stuff. And so it's hard to categorize one specific Mount Rushmore. But if we're talking WWE, I'm going to go with the Immortal Hulk Hogan because without Hogan and the boom, the 80s, the golden era of the World Wrestling Federation, there is no WWE currently today. Also, look at Hogan. He was a part of another boom in WCW in the 90s with the NWO. So Hogan's up there. Austin, there was nobody that drew as much money as Austin during that time and had so much attention towards a product as much as when Stone Cold was on top. So it's Austin Hogan. Um, you got to go with The Rock because The Rock revolutionized this business from just how charismatic and how electrifying and how popular he was. The Rock was, man, when you talk about Stone Cold, it's A and B right there. So you got to put The Rock, and then you get into some hairiness here for the last two. I think Ric Flair is obviously, a person that you would want to put in there, but also look at you got John Cena, you got The Undertaker, you have Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. Ultimately, I'll put John Cena in at the number 4 spot because John Cena, without John Cena, I mean, look, who knows how that ruthless aggression PG era would have went. I mean, he was Vince McMahon's guy for years and years and years, and he really transcended the business in his own way. And that last spot, I think a guy that has loyalty in WWE and
I thought isn't it only four spots?
oh, is it? But you know what? I'm gonna go five
You
here.
can do five, yeah. You know what? Yeah, you can do five. That's
The
fine.
Undertaker, because the Undertaker was the epitome of professionalism and consistency in WWE for what 25 years.
Yeah, and I can't if you're making me include a fifth one, I'm gonna agree with you right there. It has to be the Undertaker. His longevity, he was a company man, very highly respected. Um,
Right.
had a great eye for the business, a love for the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta agree with you. You get the of having the Undertaker on there, but yeah, but it's like you said. when it comes to like we can only pick like a definitive 4 or 5, it's hard because there's so many other greats that you could throw in there.
Yeah,
And at that point, it's pretty much just like you pick and choose. But
exactly.
but it's hard because it's like I said, there's so many things to consider when you talk about all-time greats in WWE.
Absolutely. And what is your guys' Mount Rushmore for WWE and pro wrestling? We want to know. Write it down at the bottom of this chat. Let us know. Join in on this conversation. It's not just between me and Ryan, it's between all of you guys as well.
Yeah, so
What up,
like
Brain
for
Factor?
yeah, so for any of you guys that are tuning in, give us your Mount Rushmore of the your all-time greats in WWE.
Right, absolutely. Again, guys, we have a new Instagram, Rasslin with Ryan and Mike. You can find us there. We're going to be creating a new YouTube channel as well for the podcast. Guys, this podcast is only getting started here, okay? Don't you worry. The podcast continues. We're just separating the brands between LA sports and pro wrestling. That's what just exactly what we're doing. And now the podcast is going to grow. There's going to be even more growth for the podcast going forward. There's going to be more separation, but that means more separation means Rasslin 24/7, if you see on my mug right there. What do you think, Ryan? What do you have to say?
Yeah, no, it's great. We want to be able to you know keep better track of all of our wrestling stuff and connect more with you guys, specifically the fans of professional wrestling, and that way you don't feel like you're overwhelmed with a bunch of other content that you may not care about. So this is specifically for the wrestling crowd. We're gonna have a new Twitter or X for the podcast. Like Mike said, we're gonna have a new YouTube, probably a new TikTok as well. So yeah, so we got a lot of great stuff in the works. That way it'll be all strictly professional wrestling all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But I want to thank you guys that have joined us here on TikTok. I don't want to take too much of your time. We are excited for the changes. We are excited because look at wrestling is almost 24/7 in
Because
terms of
there is no off season when it comes to professional wrestling.
exactly. So we
There's
want to get it
always
out.
news. There's always something to talk about.
Right.
Yeah,
So keep your eyes peeled on what's coming up for wrestling with Brian and Mike and WWE.
like also just to briefly discuss on SmackDown, we got a couple new sets of champions.
Right.
We got new tag team champions in the Tongans,
Those
Tama.
motherfucking
Yep.
Tongans.
But now they have Haku,
Yeah.
and then
Aku, man.
we have a new Women's United States champion in JC Jane. So now all of Fatal Influence is belted up in gold.
Wow. So lots of
We
directions going
yeah.
in SmackDown.
We found out Chelsea Green will is still the WWE Women's Champion despite her injury. So thankfully we won't have to see an interim champion for the interim champion. But I think at this point we can just call her the WWE Women's Champion because that's what she is.
Right. Exactly. All right. Um, we'll end the live.
And then also it was we found out this past Monday that we are getting Oba Femi versus Braun Breaker
Right.
at Sunday night's main event. I think let's just briefly talk about it real quick. I think that's one of the big money matches they can do right now. With obviously you have the future two future stars right there in Oba Femi and Braun Breaker. And here you have Oba Femi who just beat Brock Lesnar, is pretty effectively retired Brock Lesnar. You have Braun Breaker, who's been in the vision, but you can tell he kind of wants to drift away. He's unhappy, and so this could be good for Braun Breaker. I think it's going to be a hard hitting match. This is a toss up. I think this is one of those matches that is really 50-50, and you can't go wrong with either man.
You can't. I mean, look at regardless of who wins this match, these two guys are the future cornerstones of WWE. I my prediction for this match, I think they have. I would want Braun Breaker to get the huge win because I think that would be great for Braun Breaker because he would absolutely needs a win here against the Obafemi. I don't think you defeating Obafemi hurts him in any way. Especially if the let's call them the bloodline, but if the Vision are involved. So I think Braun Breaker gets the victory here, but I would not be surprised if they ended up burying Braun Breaker and giving Obafemi the win.
Yeah, another thing to kind of go with like I don't a lot's what I heard Obafemi. He's still king of the ring, and like I said, he still has that world title opportunity in his pocket
Right,
when he wants it. So effectively, like this match is more so Braun can kind of prove to himself like, hey, I'm still I'm still that guy. Like I can still be the future.
right,
We saw they had matches in NXT, but this is like the first like test for Braun Breaker to see if like can he still do it? Can he be that guy? Can he step up? And um, I know he inevitably lost his feud with Seth, but he had great matches with Seth, and I feel like that helped him out a lot too to show like he can go with with the best of them.
mm-hmm.
So this is gonna go a long way for both guys, and this is by far definitely not going to be the only match they have on the main roster.
Exactly.
This is a rivalry we will see for years to come. Don't be
Hopefully,
surprised if this is like John Cena, Randy Orton. Like, don't be surprised if this is that generation's feud.
right,
Like
absolutely,
how Rock and Austin was.
exactly.
How Punk and Cena was.
Cena, yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
agree.
do not be surprised if this becomes like this new generation's like this is like the feud, like the rivalry.
Right, absolutely, absolutely, and I just hope they don't burn us out from it. I think the one thing we saw from years and years with John Cena and Randy Orton is that WWE Vince McMahon completely burned out that feud, and you don't want that with Obafemi and
Yeah,
Braun.
like you don't need them to wrestle each other like every week during the same year. Like you could have them do this match and then say these two don't have another match again until next year. That's totally fine.
Right, absolutely,
Because it lets them break off and do other stuff, and then at some point it's like if especially if one of them becomes world champion and the other guy is like, we have unfinished business. I'm going after that world championship.
right,
Look at with Seth and Roman.
yep,
They went their own separate ways, and eventually they came back to each other because they had history, they had a connection.
right,
That this could happen with Oba Femi and Braun Breaker.
absolutely.
So this is definitely like going to be like the feud of like this generation.
I think so. I think so. But yeah, guys, let us know what you guys think. Who are going to win these upcoming matches? You have Sunday night's main event coming up, so that's going to be a big show in itself. You have some other big things coming up in WWE. Let us know what you're most excited about.
And if like who do you have early Money in the Bank predictions? We want to hear that.
Man, there's so many guys that I would want to win it.
I think both of our opinions have changed over the last month just based off the booking. Because remember, there was a time where we both were sure like, oh, it's Dom, it's Dom.
Now,
Now
who the
we're
hell
both like,
knows?
it might not even be him.
Exactly. Who
He
the hell
might not
knows?
even be in the match.
All right. So we'll see. I LA Knight is certainly one. I mean, he already has a world title match coming up, so maybe not, but man,
Like
if
I'm saying, you have someone like Finn who could use it.
you could, but do they want to put the world title on a Finn Balor? Ooh,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Especially now, it's like you have both champions. It's like they could really. This is kind of the first time in a while where it's like either champion could be cashed in on. Because remember, for pretty much for 4 years, it was Money in the Bank was anybody. What they were going after anybody but Roman.
right. Yeah, I completely agree. Who knows? I honestly don't have an opinion right now who's gonna take it. We're gonna have to get back to this subject. Maybe
We're gonna have to wait when they start announcing who's in the
exactly.
qualifying matches and when more people are announced of like who's gonna actually be in the match. Um, but yeah, like I said with you, it's kind of hard to tell right now. Like I have a dark horse, and I've said it before. Like I said, I think Penta's a dark horse to win Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a matter of do they see Penta putting the world title on this guy at this point?
And I mean, he has a big chance to prove he's world championship material. If this tournament goes the way we think it's going, it's going to be Penta versus Roman Reigns in Mexico City for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I feel like that's going to be a huge moment for Penta to really prove to not just himself but to everyone that like I can be a world champion. I'm world champion material.
Right, absolutely. Ooh. All right. We're gonna end the live stream right there because there's a lot of echo. But I want to thank you guys for joining in on the YouTube, on the TikTok, and for those who are going to be listening, because we're going to put this up on the Spotify as well. Ryan, any last words?
So again, just thank you guys for tuning in and bearing with us with all this new technical stuff. You know, we'll be working on it to try to get it more smoothly so there isn't an echo. But yeah, so thank you guys for whoever watched on TikTok. I know we had a lot of people coming in and out, but thank you for tuning in and watching. And yeah, like I said, we have a new Instagram at Rasslin with Ron and Mike. So be sure to shoot us a follow over there. If you have any questions or any topics you want us to discuss, you can shoot us an email at laceemuptakes@gmail.com.
Yep.
And yeah, you know, make sure you follow us on TikTok, on YouTube. You subscribe to us on Spotify, wherever it is you listen to your podcasts.
Absolutely. But thank you guys for joining in, and we'll see you guys on another one.